or three times, and it's every time I come here, I always just trip out how beautiful it is. And when I'm landing in the airport, and it's just like those little neat houses on the cliffs, and just such a great vibe here. So
and
it
a
feels
nice
good
beach,
to be,
obviously, as well. Nice surf
right on the
there.
beach, great surf community. So it feels good to be back in this part of New Zealand.
Hey, I know you're wanting to have a surf after this. You're going to be heading out to Lyall Bay after this. You haven't got a board and you haven't got wetsuits. You've got three mates. So if there's anybody watching on TV right now, Donovan and the guys are going to be heading to the airport. So
yeah, if you could meet us out there, it'd be great. A couple of surfboards, maybe some wetsuits, and we'll surf some waves with you and put you on the guest list for the show tomorrow
there you
night.
go. That's easy. That's easy. Hey, tell us about this tour, because you're promoting your fourth album, Glow. How is this album different to the last one?
Well, it was you know, a new producer, this guy Mark Weinberg, and he just took the sounds of what he really thought should accent what all the songs were written just on the acoustic guitar. So I think sonically it's a lot different, and the process of recording it took just 3 days, so we did it really quickly, and so there's a lot of things, but I think sonically it sounds a lot different than, you know, the other three that I've put out previously. But I think it's fun when you go into the studio and you're able to kind of experiment a little bit. You know? I wouldn't want to just recreate what I've done 3 times before. You know, it's always fun to kind of twist it up a little bit, and basically all the songs are written just on the acoustic guitar, so it's kind of where do you want to take them from there? Leave them broken down acoustic, or do you want to, what kind of instruments do you want to add, and different elements? So it's always unique and fun in the studio.
Where does the inspiration for that music come? I know you tour a lot, you've got a young family at home, and does it come on the road? A
lot of these songs, especially this record, were, you know, inspired of sort of like missing being home. You know, like I really love what I do. Like I have 2 careers. I surf professionally and make a living doing that, and then playing music, and it's sort of like, it's definitely a dream come true, because it's 2 things that I've just dreamt of doing. So now I get to do them as a career and make a living. But it did happen later in my life, and so it's you know, I'm married, and for 10 years I've been married, and I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's like a double-sided sword. It's so hard to be away from them, you know. And so that was like the inspiration of the last song, keeping me away from you. It's like you know, you want to see your kids grow up, and I'm only, you know, they're only young for so long, and so I leave for a month, and I come back, and I'm like, whoa, you know, lots changed, but it's like they understand. I bring them when I can on the road, and I try to make it work, but it's definitely a hard situation.
What came first? Was it the music? I know surfing, you got a surfboard as a 10-year-old, but nobody in the family was into surfing. What was that about?
Nobody in my family ever surfed, and nobody ever played music. So when I told them, you know, I said, Mom, Dad, I want a surfboard, they looked at me like, what is this kid?
Oh, so you asked for the surfboard as a 10-year-old?
Yeah, like, you know, and then I got one at the age of 10, and then at the age of like 15, I'm like, Dad, I really want to get a guitar. And he looked at me like, what, you know, what is going on here? You know, no music background in my family. So now they still ask me to this day, they're like, what do you really still surf and play music for a living? You know, they don't really understand the depth of it, you know, but they've been supportive since day one, even though they have no idea really about anything about surfing and music. But and a lot of their friends were like, I can't believe you're letting them do all that stuff, you know, pushing me all through school and stuff. They really let me go to a lot of amateur contests, surfing contests, and I got taken out of school a lot. And I mean, I did graduate high school, but they were so supportive, but like sort of not knowing what the future would hold, you know. Their son wanting to be a pro surfer and a musician, they thought, uh-oh.
Will it come early, though? As a 16-year-old?
16, I turned pro, and then I haven't stopped since. I'm 38 now, still doing it.
I read something. What is it, a quote? Doesn't think he has a musical voice. What do you mean by that? You don't think you have a musical voice?
Well, I think it's musical. I think everybody has a voice where they can sing. You know, like everybody can sing. But, you know, sometimes people, you know, they'll ask me about singing and stuff. I've never had any lessons learning how to play guitar, learning how to sing. One time I was sitting in the living room with my wife, and I was singing her some songs, and this is way before I even had a record deal or even wrote songs. And I wrote her one song, and I sang it to her, and she's like, you got to do that. You know, you got to go out and sing live. And I'm like, I never could do that. And so it was one of those things I never really thought I could do. And
was it a fear? Was it in a fear?
I think it was just like one of those things I never thought I could sing on a microphone in front of people. And all the bands I grew up in high school, I just played rhythm guitar. So I was kind of in the background. And I never thought I could sing. And then the whole thing of like writing songs. But it got to a point where I got really sick of like playing, you know, cover songs. But, you know, I learned a lot by playing other people's songs. But at one point, I was like, man, I'd rather try to write my own stuff. And, you know, whether I fail or succeed doing it, at least I'm playing my own music. So I tried it. And my wife was the one that really pushed me down that road to do it, and the inspiration came from her, and so that's how it all started.
And then here you are sitting in Abbey Road Studios in London.
Yeah, that was
you know, how was that? And you know, I heard the guys were saying, "Oh, so and so sang here," or "So and so sang here."
Yeah, that was the craziest 4 days I think ever in music, because it happened and it was a whirlwind, and it was just we recorded a live show there. They filmed. It was the first time we ever really did anything with cameras.
Right.
And then to have that, you know, at Abbey Roads, and then all the things that went on there, and they said, you know, here, use all this gear that the Beatles used and recreate one of their songs.
Wow.
And so the whole time I was there, I was like so freaked out, and it was just such a great experience, and we had, you know, all access in every room, and we got to see everything and hang out there for 4 days. So that was sort of like a moment in time that was captured, that was definitely a highlight in my musical journey.
Donovan, I've got an email here. It's from Jake. Hi, Donovan. Great gig at Mangawhai Tavern a few years ago, and I look forward to tomorrow night's show in Wellington. I'm aware of your close connection with Japan, being there for shows and charity work. It's such a terrible thing. He says, keep rocking. We'll jam and surf sometime. But
yeah.
You're planning a couple of gigs that are supposed to be happening in Japan. Is that right?
There's a huge festival there in May, and you know, it's just crazy. I don't know whether to go or not go. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there, and I hope it's all safe and everything happens, because I do want to go there in May. But there's, you know, I was in Western Australia when the tsunami hit, and I was like, who do I know in Japan? The first guy thought it was Jack Johnson being on tour there. So I called all those guys, and they were all safe, and they got out. But then I have so many friends from Sendai and so many surf buddies and all the companies I work for in Japan. And, you know, same thing when I was at home and what happened in Christchurch, you know, and calling everybody here, making sure everybody was safe. And it just seems like there's been a lot of crazy things going on lately. And it really, yeah, I don't know. It's just really sad what's happened, but I just hope everybody can.
Well, you're here in New Zealand spreading the love with your music, with your new, you know, promoting your new album, Glow, and I'm sure people will get out and listen to it and listen to you.
Yeah, it'll be fun tomorrow night. If anybody can make it, it's going to be fun.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And good luck with that surf. Remember, people, he's heading to the surf now. 3 surfboards, 3 wetsuits for Donovan, and he's going to go and check out the surf at Lyall Bay. Thank you so much, friend.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. And
Donovan's performing in Wellington tomorrow night and Auckland on Thursday. Details on our website. Well, just said, could disrupted sleep during pregnancy affect a baby's birth?